Let's talk about something that touches every single part of our lives, from the boardroom to the dinner table. It's this idea that conflict, that thing we all try to run away from, isn't just something we have to put up with. What if it's actually our greatest untapped asset? We're going to dive into why this one guarantee in life is the one thing we're almost always least prepared for.
Okay, think about this for a second. We spend our lives getting ready for things that might happen. We get health insurance just in case we get sick or injured. It's all about having a safety net, right? For a future you can't predict.
And it's the exact same thing with car insurance. You pay for it every single month, really hoping you never, ever have to use it. You're insuring against a possibility, not some kind of certainty. It's just smart, responsible planning.
But what if I told you there's one thing we consistently fail to prepare for, and it isn't just a possibility? No, it's a 100% guarantee in any relationship you can think of, with any group of people.
Yeah, you heard that right. 100%. We are not talking about a chance or a maybe or a probability here. We're talking about an absolute, unavoidable certainty. And that certainty is conflict. I mean, whenever you bring two or more people together with their own thoughts, their own goals, their own experiences, conflict is simply going to happen. It's inevitable. And yet, for this one guarantee in life, most of us have zero insurance, absolutely zero training.
So what happens when this guaranteed event shows up and we're totally unprepared? Well, that's when you start to see the incredibly high cost of mismanaging it. Now look at this. This slide lays out two completely different paths, and it's fascinating. On the left, you see what happens when conflict is handled well. It actually builds people up. It builds trust, opens doors. But on the right, mismanaged conflict, it's a wrecking ball. It just destroys everything. The key takeaway is that the outcome isn't random. It's a direct result of how we choose to engage. And let's be really, really clear about this. Avoiding conflict is mismanaging it. I think so many of us believe that if we just ignore that awkward comment or pretend we didn't see that tense email, it'll just poof, disappear. But it doesn't. It goes underground, quietly eating away at trust and confidence until it grows into a much bigger, much uglier monster. This quote from author Bill Taylor just nails it, especially when you think about high-stakes situations like sports or business. You can have the best strategy, the most talented people, all the money in the world, but none of that matters if the team is being ripped apart from the inside. And this really says it all. Every single dollar spent on research, every late night poured into a strategy, all of it can literally go up in smoke because of one argument that wasn't handled right. It's the ultimate hidden liability, and it can completely bankrupt a team's potential. Okay. So if the cost of getting this wrong is so incredibly high, what's the alternative? Well, this requires a huge, fundamental shift in how we even think about conflict. We're all conditioned to think of conflict as a bad word. It means there's a problem, an argument, a failure. But what if that's the core misunderstanding? What if conflict, by itself, isn't actually bad at all? Well, this is the big shift in thinking we need to make. We have to redefine conflict. It is not a problem to be avoided. It is a vital tool to be used. When you manage it the right way, it's the very thing that opens up real communication, builds deep trust, and makes relationships stronger. It's a powerful tool for growth. So let me put it plainly. Reaching your full potential as a person, as a team, as a company is flat out impossible without embracing and successfully managing conflict. It's not some obstacle standing in the way of success. It's actually part of the path to get there. So this brings us to the solution. If conflict is a tool, then using it the right way is a skill. And just like any other skill, from playing guitar to learning a new language, it can be taught, it can be practiced, and it can be mastered. So where do we start? Well, the path forward begins with just admitting something simple. Most of us are flying blind. We were never really taught these skills in school. Then, we have to stop making excuses, because the cost of not knowing this stuff is just way too high. The real change happens when we decide to make this a priority, a core competency, and we actually commit to learning. And we're not talking about abstract ideas. We're talking about real, tangible skills, like how to listen, how to reframe a problem, or how to have a tough conversation that attacks the issue, not the person. Let's circle back to that insurance analogy one last time. You pay for health insurance and you hope you never need it. But conflict skills, this is an investment you will use every single
day. The return isn't about avoiding a disaster, it's about creating constant, positive growth in all of your relationships.
And honestly, this might be the most powerful takeaway here. Your ability to manage conflict acts as a multiplier for everything else you do. Your technical skills, your creativity, your leadership, they all become so much more valuable and impactful when you can navigate the friction that just naturally comes with working with other human beings. So when you put all this together, you're not just learning how to manage a liability, you're actually developing a genuine superpower.
As Bill Taylor says, this isn't just about damage control anymore. It's about unleashing something powerful. The ability to turn a moment that could be destructive into an opportunity for trust and clarity and stronger bonds, that's a total game changer.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Just imagine for a minute a world where instead of dreading conflict, you actually saw it as an opportunity. What could you or your team or your company achieve if you were the ones who knew how to turn all that friction into fuel? What would be possible then?